swimmers. Who can fill that out? Who can approve it? That's a really great question. Um, we will go over that in some specifics, and I will pull up a link to make sure we go over that. So kind of to go through some logistics of how this will all work. I know people are still going to hop on. We're at about 80 people right now, which is awesome. One, this is going to get recorded, so you should know that. You should have heard that on your screen. This is a great resource. This will have a lot of intricate parts of how things work this year, a lot of schedule changes, all of that good fun stuff. If you have questions, please feel free to put it in the Q&A box. Pat is going to bother me probably about every slide to make sure we're addressing things as they come in. I noticed that last year I was not paying attention to the Q&A as I'm trying to talk as best I can and give you the best answers, but might not be paying attention to all of the questions that are coming through. But one, I want to start off with saying thank you for attending the 2024 Camp Yawgoog Leaders Meeting on Zoom. We've had 3 in person previously over the past 2 weeks. The first one being in Cranston last Wednesday. We were on Long Island, East Northport last Thursday. And Milton, Mass was last night. And tonight we are here on Zoom with you. So just want to go through some quick housekeeping items. So I did mention that Q&A box. That's the best way to kind of communicate so we can mark off what we've answered. If you put it in the chat, you guys are sharing resources, great, but we might not notice it right there. So if you need us to answer something specifically, please make sure to put it there. But this is really intended to be the best opportunity to onboard a troop, whether it's your first year attending, second year attending. You might be a seasoned veteran coming to Yawgoog, but this year there's a lot of new changes that we want to go over. We want to make sure we cover them all. But first, since this is a scout meeting, I'm going to turn it over to our camp representatives to get us started with the pledge, the oath, and the law.
Thank you. So we'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Scout sign. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
And lastly, the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2.
Excellent. So some key staff introductions and some other introductions, people who are here today and other people who aren't here, but will be familiar contacts for you at your time during camp. So first off, we have our returning 3-point camp director, Mr. Patrick Dalton.
Thanks, John. Hey, everybody. Super excited to be here tonight. Like John said, I'm returning for my 3rd summer as the 3-point camp director. He said my name, but I'm Patrick Dalton. This is year number 8 for me, working at the Yawgoog Scout Reservation. I live up in Mansfield, Massachusetts. Super excited to be back and looking forward to seeing you all in, I think 70 some odd short days, but thanks.
But who is counting? Now let's turn it over to our new Medicine Bow camp director, but not new to camp, Matt Lemon Jelly.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Matt Lemon Jelly. I'll be coming this is my first year as the Medicine Bow camp director, but this will be my 8th year on staff. And in the off season, I'm a senior at Montana State University. And I'm really excited to get to know all of you and to see you all over the summer.
Awesome. So returning as our Sandy Beach camp director, but not here this evening, is Mr. Stephen Renfrey. He is up at the Southern New Hampshire University. so a little bit ways away from Rhode Island at this point in time. But filling in for him tonight, we have our assistant Sandy Beach camp director, Mr. Caleb Nugent.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I am notably not Stephen Renfrey. My name is Caleb Nugent. This is going to be my fourth summer working here at Camp Yawgoog. I'm a student studying education at Connecticut State, and really, really looking forward to getting this summer started and seeing all of you back at camp.
Excellent. So we have 3 seasoned camp veterans with us here to help guide us through Q&A, make sure we get everything all taken care of. But who else is on that key staff team? So we have a new director of food service, Mr. Max Manning. He's taking over in that role. He is new to camp, but he's not new to food service. He's currently attending Johnson & Wales, going to be graduating and planning to teach culinary at a VOTEC school, which is awesome. That's exactly what we want to have on our team, to be able to teach the kitchen staff who are right in that age demographic also how to specifically work in the kitchen. So we're really excited to bring him on board. I have a meeting with him tomorrow and our food service rep from Thurston Foods. So we're excited for that tomorrow. Who else is on the team? Year number 33 coming up for Mr. John Vuno. He is our reservation superintendent. Maintenance, all things that break around camp. He is in charge of making sure they get fixed one way or another. So his experience is invaluable. We are truly blessed to have him on the team. A familiar face, but in a new role, might be Mr. Ethan Bashan. He's not on the call with us tonight at this point in time because he is down in Texas, currently getting commissioned for the at the DOB course 1 for district executives. So he is a full-time Narragansett Council employee as a district executive and the Yawgoog business manager. So he wears a couple different hats here at Narragansett Council, but we're really excited to have him on the team still and taking over the business manager. Miss Piper Hunt is returning to the Health Lodge to be the Health Lodge director again this year. We're excited for her in this role because last year we saw 1,400 people at the Health Lodge, which is quite a lot of incidents. We are really hopeful that that is not the case this year. We're hoping that troops take more preventative action, specifically about hydration. I'll mention that probably a couple times tonight. Hydration and tick bites are all preventable, checkable kind of things that you can minimize your Health Lodge visits to, which will help keep that number below 1,400. And a familiar face on the bottom right of the screen is Mr. Quentin Reynolds as our program director. It's his 2nd year in that role, but I believe it is his 11th overall at camp. So quite a bunch of experience there. We're really excited to have him back for another year as program director. So last year we put out an app. I am excited to say that we still have an app. It's still in the App Store for iOS and Android. It is a great resource. Currently in the process of getting updated. We finished our leaders guide. Those are in the process of getting mailed out to you guys. So if you attended an in-person leaders meeting, you will have received a physical leaders guide, a couple other pieces of paper, final payment instructions, information about Weeblo's Yawgoog leadership experience, and a Camp Yawgoog app paper that has a QR on it. It's very similar to this screen as a resource that you can use to scan, promote out to your troops, promote out to your scouts, or not because of a troop policy about phones. That is your preference as a troop to have, but we want to be able to provide you as many resources as possible to make it the best experience as possible. So that app is available for you. All right, there's a lot of topics. We're going to talk about them all. So let's dive on into number 1, which is the schedule. So Sunday to Saturday program is not new to us. It's something that we tried back in 2021. It's something that we changed afterwards. It's something that we're going back to this year. We're really excited for this. We've modified the program a little bit, the schedule a little bit, but we haven't taken away a single element of program that was previously offered. And I think that's really important when we think about what Yawgoog is and how much tradition there is in Yawgoog with the Saturday night show and how we've transformed that into the Friday night show. Keeping the dress parade, but it'll be on Saturday morning this year. All of those specific elements that we know and love, or will learn to love if it's our first time, they're all still there. And I think that's really important to note. But diving into some specifics on the screen, that arrival, we're keeping it a little bit staggered, but troops will come in starting at 12 and arrive through 2 p.m., which will be the same for provisional programs of Fun Friends Adventure, Yawgoog Leadership Experience, and our Weeblos Outdoor Adventure. Those swim qualifications and pictures will go from 1:30 p.m. to 6. There is an opportunity, and I started off with a question about swim classification records and how that's available in Blackbug. We will get into some specifics later on, and I'll show you a link for that. 7 p.m. on Sunday, though, there is a reservation director meeting with myself at 7 p.m. in the Medicine Bow Dining Hall. That's a really important one. That's a mandatory one representative from each troop. So one adult leader can come to that meeting at the Medicine Bow Dining Hall, but all the camp directors will be there as well. So you'll get to see Pat, Stephen, and Matt and myself on Sunday at 7 p.m. To go over any last minute details, clarifications, safety protocol, any and all of that to answer those kinds of questions. Departure is going to be Saturday after the dress parade. There's not a rush with that departure as no one is coming in directly on that Saturday. So if you want to have a troop court of honor, by all means plan that. That is absolutely okay and encouraged. Saturday breakfast, we're taking that previous Sunday program and kind of putting it on Saturday. So that breakfast is at 7:30 with services at 8:30. We're really dedicating that time at 8:30 though, and calling it a Scout is Reverend. There's never enough focus on that 12th point, and we really kind of want to highlight that. We do offer 3 services. Here at Yawgoog, we have 2 resident chaplains available 24/7, and they're great resources. So we really want to highlight that time, 8:30 to 9:30. So take advantage of those services. And if you're not able to do that, or having the choice of doing an interfaith service within your campsite, it's absolutely fine to be within your campsite, but we're asking that you not be moving vehicles around and disturbing other people that are attending services at that point in time. And the dress parade timing is 10:15 a.m. on Saturday, and there is no lunch following that. Pat, any Q&A that I should kind of address at this point yet?
Nothing relating to the schedule.
All right. More schedule specifics. So in the leader's guide, not featured on this page, we did add page numbers. So in the leader's guide, you can kind of find this page specifically that outlines a lot of important timing for the schedule. So changes and important things to note is the Monday 12 o'clock fire drill. So an NCAP standard is to have a fire drill within 24 hours of scouts arriving. So we have scouts arriving at 12 p.m. the previous day. I want to make sure that fire drill happens. So we'll have our instructors, those merit badge counselors, let the scouts leave just a little bit early from class that day to make it back to their campsite for that 12 p.m. fire, so they can be accounted for, and you can send representatives down to the dining hall to be accounted for. 8:15 on Monday, the ice cream social at the Order of the Arrow building. So previously this had been held later in the week on Friday, but instead we're starting off the week with ice cream. So if you are a member of the Order of the Arrow, interested in the Order of the Arrow, curious to see how to apply, where you kind of just like ice cream, it's a great opportunity to learn more about the Order of the Arrow and have some awesome yard games out there and some fellowship time. The daily schedule is going to operate from Monday through Thursday. Of course, there's the Monday specifics that are a little bit different, but that daily schedule goes Monday through Thursday, and merit badge sessions. So merit badge sessions also run Monday through Thursday. And that's a big change with this. So previously, we operated 5 days of merit badge classes. There are a lot of little changes that all added up into this big change of teaching it in 4 days. But that Friday schedule in the morning is open program. So whether a scout didn't finish a specific requirement, needed some extra help to complete it, wants to do something else like ice skating, for example, or Monkey Fist Friday at Campcraft, or Adventure Island, or one of another 100 things that there are to do at summer camp. That's all up for grabs on Friday morning. But classes will end for merit badges on that Thursday afternoon. And then that Saturday schedule kind of outlined with that breakfast at 7:30. But one thing to note about that breakfast, previously we had done a cold breakfast, which would be cornbread, yogurt, fruit, and that. There's a lot of changes that we're bringing to the food service operation this year. And one of them being that Saturday breakfast will be a hot breakfast instead. So you won't have to have cornbread and a grab and go kind of meal. It'll still be a hot service meal. So I have the word commissioners over here on the right. That's important to note that we're adding a new position around. We have program commissioners, but we're also going to have commissioners. So they are going to be volunteer position, experience at coming to Yawgoog, maybe a previous staff member, maybe just somebody who's attended for 20 years and just knows all the ins and outs. But they're going to be a representative to meet and greet you at your campsite when you arrive and help answer those kinds of questions. So any new troop will have a commissioner assigned to them to help them walk through that first 5-6 hours, get them to dinner, and answer any questions. And they might not know every answer, and that's okay, but they'll at least help be able to guide you through those first steps, and then know exactly who to ask those questions that they don't know the answer to, so that they can find the right answer for you. Pizza, that was the other thing on the screen that I didn't talk about. Nothing's better than Yawgoog pizza. So on that Sunday arrival, 12 to 2, we do offer pizza for purchase ahead. We're ahead at yawgoog.org/pizza. There are assigned times you can pick it up. So if you're arriving a little bit later, a little bit earlier, adjust accordingly. If you want to pick up pizza in town or Subway, or you guys just cook in the site or do however you guys want to do, that's okay. Just we want you to know that this is also an option for you. Questions on schedule?
A lot related to pizza, but you covered most of those. Just some other quick ones for you, John.
Yeah.
A lot of questions on, you mentioned the meeting was being recorded. How's that going to be shared? Are the slides available? Stuff like that.
Great question. So on the troop section, probably I'm going to guess Saturday, Sunday, Monday, somewhere in that ballpark, we are going to get the recording uploaded to YouTube on the George Buckland account, as you may be familiar with, Pat. We'll get it put up there. We'll throw the slides up for you, and then we are going to try and pull the Q&A specifically and try and have that as well.
A question related to Sunday move-ins. Can troops park their trailers in their campsite for the week?
Yes. So yes, we do allow trailers to be parked in the campsite for the week. On vehicles, we ask that those do get moved out for the week, unless you've talked with me for an extreme circumstance. In general, it helps a way better camp atmosphere when the vehicles are kept out of the site. We do have plenty of parking available at the Bowden lot and the Sandy Beach parking lot for that.
Is Sunday check-in staggered? Is it all at once? Can you go in a little more about the arrival process, if you can?
Great, yeah. So that arrival process, ultimately, we will go over some specifics of what you have to turn in ahead of time, but you will have turned in all of the necessary documents ahead of time. And come up to the window, just double check that that is the case. All those health forms are in. You've provided the YPT report, the unit behavior plan. If you wanted to, the swim classification records. You'll grab your hats, leader wristbands, the Scout Code of Honor conduct cards. Just say hello and say we'll see you at the 7 p.m. Reservation director meeting at the Medicine Bow Dining Hall. But yes, it will be staggered. You will have a set time in your Black Bug profile. That'll get input after we check everything and after you have that final payment, that'll become available. Those final payments are due 30 days in advance, so you should know well ahead of time what time we're asking you to come as well.
And then last but not least, related to the 6-day program, scouts staying for multiple weeks, how will that work? Can they stay over?
That's a great question. So previously and this year, we've asked scouts that want to stay over can stay over. That is still the case. We will provide supervision and coverage and a little bit of a program for them on that in between time. Another thing that's not always asked about, but we do have laundry machines. So if those scouts are staying multiple weeks, we do encourage them to do their laundry. Just ask a staff member. We do provide laundry detergent too, so it doesn't need to just go in and be water. So that's a great little note there. Any others? Okay. All right. Do you need to take the ferry? You can answer this individually, but there's one change that I wanted to note. So if you attended the Long Island meeting, we talked a bunch of specifics, but me being from Rhode Island, not taking the ferry to camp, I don't know the best logistics on ferry everything. So we learned that the 10 o'clock ferry is the one to take because it's a larger ferry, better reservations at that point in time. So we're clarifying the 10 a.m. ferry from Orion Point going to Yawgoog on that Sunday. Information is available. If you do need busing from the ferry, please book that ahead of time. We do provide busing at a cost of $15. That's available ahead of time. All right. Program updates. There's a lot of intricate things going on with the program. So we've got a new axe throwing range at the archery range. Last year we added axe throwing. That went really well. But we had it kind of more mobile, so that way we could transform the range and make it more versatile for Weeblos, and they could do archery and BB as well as substitute in axe throwing. But axe throwing was so popular, we want to designate a certain space to it, so that can be utilized all the time. So that'll be over there near the Weeblos and archery ranges right there. The war canoes, we said were coming back last year. This year, they really are coming back. We've seen refurbishments actually started in progress. So we're really excited to have those return to the 3 waterfronts. And then we went down to the ACA show and got 6 more paddle boards and 1 more mothership. So a mothership is a giant paddleboard that can sit 8 to 10 scouts on. So it's an awesome program opportunity, and we'll talk program opportunities a little bit later on, but that's a great way for your troop to engage and have a team building experience on the water. Branding night is a new one this year. So Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., the H. Cushman Anthony Stockade, the Craft Center in Medicine Bow, we're going to host a branding night. So for a cost, there will be brandable items available at the blockhouse at the Craft Center. And you can get that. There will be a couple different branding options, the CY logo and a couple others. And choose that. I believe the Ugly Mugs is one of the ones that we'll be doing, and a couple other items. Of course, safety is in mind, so no branding any buddies. That will not be occurring. But we want to make sure that anyone has the opportunity to attend. So make sure your scouts know that 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. during that session is branding night. Following branding night, we are going to have trivia night again. That's inside the Medicine Bow Dining Hall. There will be some snacks there, but a great opportunity to have a trivia, a little bit about camp, a little about some weekly themes, some great diversity in that, but a great opportunity to engage and learn a little bit more about the history of dog there. Tie-dye night on Thursday. So tie-dye night operationally last year was awesome. We learned a lot, had a lot of fun with it, tried out some different tie-dye things, learned more about how many t-shirts to order for the startup. So we've ordered about 500 more than the startup order than we did last year. Really excited for that program to expand. We'll be doing long sleeve t-shirts as well this year. So if you got a short sleeve shirt last year, you can get a long sleeve shirt this year. Try something out. Try something different out this year. And that's 7 p.m. on Thursday. Other program updates. Electricity merit badge. That is going to the barn. So we're substituting out farm mechanics this year. So keeping plumbing, plumbing there and fingerprinting, but adding in electricity. So our plan is to rotate out some merit badges year to year to provide a more thorough program over the course of several years, and more opportunities for scouts to get different merit badges. And starting with electricity, we're also adding in pulp and paper. That's going to be also at the craft center, and it's going to substitute out with Indian. So a really cool opportunity there. Electricity in more campsites. So last year we started laying the framework with a lot of electricity over in 3 Point. We've added, I believe, 12 sites already in Medicine Bow, and there's a lot more work to come. This and in the next couple of months to get more electricity in more campsites over in Sandy Beach as well. And a new campsite that is currently under construction in Medicine Bow is campsite Red Wing. So over on the Netap Utah Weemat area, that will be over by that new latrine with individual stalls there, accommodating that new site. All right. Program requests. So last year we changed and modified the program request process and put it in Camp Doc. So you had options to choose from and kind of select and offer us that. It was a little bit clunky. I think that this sheet is going to work a lot better. It's available on the Troop section. You can download it, download as many copies as you want. But that can be submitted through your Black Pug portal. So there are a lot of deliverables that are available through that. I'm actually going to pull that. So some of those deliverables that are in that Black Pug profile, if you are George Buckland, you could see all of that information. But we'll ask for information like the high adventure receipt. So stuff we had previously asked for in Camp Doc will be in the Black Bug portal here. That program request sheet, swim classification records, all listed here. So if you take this link, this is what I was talking about. It's going to list out the specific requirements needed in there. Almost. But it lists out a specific way to write that and everything. So if you were wanting to take the swim classification record this year, you would pull up this guide, and it lists out all of the approved parties would sign here, and it lists out the procedures for actually participating in it, classifying that. So you can take a look at this document. We want to make sure that the appropriate parties are the only people administering that. If you have a question, on administering that, or who's qualified, who's the right person. It's not just a scoutmaster who's seen a bunch of swim records done over time. That is not an acceptable form. We want to make sure that we will be verifying that the proper proof is uploaded to it. So if you have any questions with it, please feel free to reach out. We're happy to help with that.
All right.
Yeah.
Got some time for program-related questions?
Mhm.
All right. Can a scout bring their own stuff to tie-dye night?
Unfortunately, we ask that they buy a t-shirt, one of the Yawgoog t-shirts for that program.
And is there an age requirement for axe throwing? If so, what is it?
There is not. There is not. It needs proper supervision. So on that, we do have free throw at the range from 7 to 8. But troop signups would require that the troop is providing active supervision at the axe throwing range. We'll provide an orientation of how to make sure that you're administering that safely. But free throw is when we provide the supervision, but in troop signups, that is for the troop.
So a question, can we do the swim test locally versus at camp on Sunday afternoon now?
Yes, so it's going to be its own slide in a little bit. I kind of previewed it there, but the swim classification records are now able to be done ahead of time. But the emphasis is on they need to be done correctly. They need to be administered properly by an aquatics instructor, a BSA lifeguard, a BSA swimming and water rescue, or other lifeguard/swimming instructor. So if there's some record that you can provide that they've got a certificate of any of those, and you would just have to click that link. It is listed there, all of those specifics. And there's more in the BSA Aquatic Supervision Guide. As long as it is being done properly, yes. The answer is we are accepting those as an alternative way to doing the swim balls on Sunday.
And then I believe relating to the program highlight sheet, John, is this in Black Pug or on the Yawgoog app?
This is on the website right now in the troop section. It is not currently available on the app. I will probably put it up there, but it is not currently up there, but it will be.
Great. I think that's all for now. We'll hit some of these later.
Okay. Okay, yeah, and the last thing it says it's Tuesday barbecue, so I do want to touch on that. So when to turn this in? This can be turned in tomorrow. This can be turned in a month before, the 30 days before, with the rest of your paperwork. That would be probably ideal. It can be turned in a week before. If you turn it in any of those ahead of times, we are going to have the program commissioners make that schedule for the Tuesday barbecue ahead of time. So if you attend a Tuesday barbecue ahead of your week, it will be possible to see your schedule right then and there of all the possibilities that you'd filled out, and if they've actually been, if your requests have been fulfilled. So those 5 days before you get them. All right, horsemanship. So another new program. We're building relationships with local entities here. So Stepping Stone Ranch is not a new relationship that we built. Actually, about 12 years ago, we partnered with them and offered horsemanship merit badge in a different way. But we're really excited to partner with them again. Heidi is the instructor that'll be working with us specifically. She's got over 40 years of experience in teaching programs like this to both the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, and other youth programs, and has ran several camps herself. So we're really excited to bring her on board with her expertise. And it really makes me feel great to say that we have this person that's really qualified to do this, rather than saying we're going to have a 15-year-old teach your scouts how to ride a horse. So I'm really, really glad to say we partnered with them. There are some specifics about doing that. So it's not going to be a one merit badge session. It's going to take up either the whole morning or the whole afternoon. So that 9 to 12 session or that 2 to 5 session. Specifically, we do want them to meet a little bit ahead of time because the ranch is off property. They will need to travel there. We'll have a van going every day for all of those sessions to there to bring them there and bring them back. And then weeks 4 and 6, there's a wedding going on. So we are limited to Monday through Wednesday only on those weeks. But that is still enough of an opportunity to get the entire merit badge. It is less riding off and about, but you will still complete the merit badge in that program. To meet 8:40, to meet ahead of time at the Buckland Memorial Building. So please meet there, and the van will pick you up from the Buckland Memorial Building at that point in time. Cost is $250 per participant for this program. Horses do have to eat, and there are sometimes large medical bills concerning horses. It's why we don't want to own them specifically, but it's an awesome opportunity for us to partner with somebody and provide this program. There is a limit on this of 10 scouts per session, so 10 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, for a total of 20. This is a great opportunity. So if you have a scout that participates in this program, I want to emphasize the second part of the WHO statement. Adults from that troop can drive themselves to that event from camp. Photo opportunities are encouraged. Your scouts will definitely appreciate you going and taking a picture, spending the half an hour round trip experience for a couple photos of them getting to participate in this program. Really cool opportunity. So take advantage of that. And it's also an awesome piece of property to go check out as well.
Is there an age associated with horsemanship, John?
No, there is not. So you can be just a scout in the scouting program. You're able to participate.
Thank you.
Ice skating. So all scouts are eligible, so no age requirement restriction on this one. The only caveat with this program is I suggest you don't have to, but I do suggest you've tried ice skating once or twice ahead of time. So it's not an unfamiliar concept, as it would be a little bit of a learning experience, definitely doing that for the first time. You might not be able to complete all of the requirements, but for the first year, we are offering ice skating. I'm really excited to say that. I believe we're the only scout camp in all of America that's offering ice skating in the summer as a scout summer camp program. So it's a really cool partnership that we've got going. Scouts are not going to be skating on property, but traveling to Boss Arena at the University of Rhode Island. So logistically, how that's going to work is they'll go to the 407 at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. also happens to be breakfast. So they're going to go to the 407 instead of their normal dining hall for breakfast on that Friday. It only runs on Friday morning. And we want them to go to the 407. There'll be a grab and go kind of breakfast, and there'll be breakfast there for them to eat. And then they'll be able to leave and get to the arena at the right time. So if they're meeting at 8 a.m. at the 407, that ice time is 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So they'll leave somewhere in between that amount of time with enough time to eat and get on the bus and go and get there. And that skates are included in this cost. So the cost is $35 per participant, limit of 45 slots. That's the bus capacity and the instructor capacity. But it does include skates. Any questions pop through on this one?
Yeah, a couple on horsemanship here, John.
Yeah.
So how does registration work for that? Is it a lottery system? And yeah, I would start with that.
Yeah, yeah, start with one. So yes, it is and should be a wait list for all of those weeks. Ice skating, horsemanship, and ATV will all operate as waitlisted programs, so that we know how many people are actually trying to participate in it. And if we can accommodate everyone, we will. If not, we'll use a lottery system and do it that way. May 20th is the date, and that'll pop up on a later slide with ATV. But May 20th is the last date to put your name in the hat, so to speak, for a chance at that lottery. So you've got about 30, 40 days to prepare your scouts, get there, empower them with the parent portal and get them access to put their name in the hat for ATV or horsemanship bicycle.
For these offsite merit badges, John, can one scout go from a troop, or do they need a buddy, or how's that work?
Great question. So one scout from a troop can go. They will get a buddy from another troop in this experience, traveling together in the van or the bus in that case.
Can a scout bring their own skates for ice skating?
Yes, if they have skates, want to use those skates instead of what we'll be able to provide, absolutely.
And then, so registration is open now for these ?
Yes. If you notice something that's weird with that, this is the first year using Blackbug and everything. So I expect questions, I expect some modifications and everything. But yes, that is available now. You're able to put your name in the hat for those programs or sign up for the other merit badges. And we'll go over the parent portal in a little bit. But yes.
I think that does it for now.
All right. Whoa, this slide. All right. Salad station. So on Zoom, this does not have the same reaction. But I would ask the question of who thinks we read the comment sheets, and I would get some kind of feedback, hopefully in the sense of, wow, we didn't think you ever read the comment sheets. But this concept of a salad bar or just offering salad more has been on numerous comment sheets over the past several years. And we finally want to address it in the form of a salad station. And a salad station is very different than a salad bar. But it should still accommodate us all this summer. But a salad bar has lots of options, and you can pick and choose your toppings for a salad. But a salad station has very different options. In fact, only has two. Those options being, you can get salad or you can not get salad. Both of those are great options. We've had the second one a lot for the previous years, but finally we're adding in that first option, and I really like it. But to dive into some specifics of what and how a salad station works, let's dive in. So breakfast, there is not salad. I think that's really important to throw out there. We're in fact putting yogurt cups, gluten-free cereal, oatmeal cups, pre-packaged kind of things there available if needed. So that way, if you have a special dietary concern, any of these options are able to accommodate it. It's less involvement, less awkward trying to ask the kitchen staff for a certain accommodation, and the ease of this access will be beneficial to those people, but also offer more alternatives to everybody. So if there's something that you don't like, there are alternatives here, as well as a larger variety of fresh fruit. Previously, we've kind of done apples and oranges, which are great, but we kind of want to add in some more variety. Lunch also does not have salad. Carrot sticks and celery sticks will be available in those little bagged pouches for kind of grab and go access. Ranch will be available to kind of add some dip for that. Sun butter, soy butter, and jelly sandwiches will be available. If you don't like the meal, that is an alternative, so you can have an option. And then fresh fruit will also be available during lunch. And then dinner, the salad station finally has salad. So it's going to have that garden salad, kind of similar to what you would see at a restaurant of a normal garden salad. We're going to have cherry tomatoes this year. Previously, we'd have normal tomatoes in our salad. This will allow for better holding and a little bit more accommodation with tomatoes in there. So one small chunk of it, you might get a couple of cherry tomatoes in there for each scoop. Dressing options, a good variety there, but people will be able to come up and grab one individual bowl for themselves, or if the whole table wants it, we'll have the larger salad bowls there as an option. I'm going to go back to the first slide because this addresses how this whole operation should really work. I think it's important to note that. So all scouts and adults are welcome to come up to the salad. It's listed as a salad bar there. Interesting. To the salad station, but one person per table at a time. So the waiter could go up and they could be the person to get the one salad for a person or salad for the whole table, or it could be another person. But we ask that just one person is up at a point in time, because if one person is up from every table, that's roughly around 40 to 50 people up at a time, which is more than plenty already. So that will just lead to less congestion in the dining hall. All right. Any questions popped around that?
Yeah, a couple. First one's in a similar vein to salads, but what should be done if someone has a scout with a dietary restriction?
Great question. So in CampDoc, and we'll explain how to get access to that in a little bit. In CampDoc, which is going to be your medical online health record, there is a specific part in there that asks if you have a special dietary need. So we go based on that. So anyone who enters anything in their health form for special dietary need, we are going to accommodate based off of that. If you include it in that and you want us to talk to you ahead of time, you can reach out through a contact us form on the website. You can email me directly. You can just add in a note and say, hey, here is the allergy. And I'd just like to talk ahead of time. We'll review those on a week by week basis and give you a call ahead of time if needed.
And then one other related to the salad. Are the dinner salads, the slide you had, John, pre-plated or choose your own item?
Good question. So we offer salad. This isn't going to answer the question first, but it will. We offer salad with the meal anyway on pasta meals. So Monday and Friday, we offer pasta with meat sauce and then pasta with meatballs. So the salad will come at the table. And then if you want more, the salad bar is still going to be available at that point. And that'll have extra you can fill up from there. But the original question was more, is that going to be individual or larger portions or already pre-portioned you have to take from? The thought is that all of the salad will be in like a hotel pan within the salad bar, and you would tong the amount of salad that you want into your individual bowl or the table bowl if you're grabbing it for the table, but you would more serve yourself out of that. We're very big on food safety. So at the end of the dinner experience, if there's any leftover out of the serving use there, we will compost it. Composting was really successful last year. We're going to continue with it. And that'll just be composted as a food safety protocol. So we're not bringing in the stuff that everybody's possibly touched all.
Is the salad station a substitution for the regular meal or in addition to the regular meal?
In addition to the regular meal. So the pasta meals, we will still be serving salad to every table. We probably will serve a little bit less to every table because you can go up and get but that will be in addition. And then the other meals will not have salad with it. So your pot roast meal won't have salad with it, but that salad station does accommodate. You could go up and get salad for yourself or the table if you want it with that meal as well. So it provides a way for us to have less waste when it comes to offering salad, which was really the biggest factor over the past several years when we offered it multiple times or less times.
And then lastly, related again to special meals, what can be done for scouts with nut allergies?
Ooh, scouts with nut allergies. So we are a peanut and tree nut free facility. We don't serve peanut butter except within the Trading Post products that may have them. But at any of the meals, the food that we're serving does not have peanuts or tree nuts in it, in the exception of the bake shop. So the bake shop does not specifically have nuts in it, but it is Pillsbury and General Mills, which means that it's manufactured and processed in a facility that manufactures and processes tree nuts and peanuts. So if depending on the allergy, it could be severe enough of a state that it could be impacted by that. So it's dependent on the parent at that time. All right. So we talked a little bit about some ATV specifics when we talked horsemanship and ice skating. But ATV program, it's the third year we're going to be running this. It is eligible for scouts who are 14 to 17. We will run the 4 merit badge sessions, 9, 10:30, 2, and 3:30 as the ATV sessions on Monday through Thursday. And then we operate the 7 to 8 session Monday through Thursday as an opportunity for any scout who has already previously completed the course as an opportunity as a ride experience or whatever is currently going on at the ATV center. They can join in that experience. It might be washing the ATVs, changing the oil, going out and working on the trails, or it might be riding along, doing one of the courses again. But it is up to the instructors on that day of what the experience is. But yes, the dates are up here specifically, and this applies to ice skating, horsemanship, and ATV. So scouts can put their names in the hat on that wait list now until May 20. The sign up does not guarantee participation. It does not have a cost. Just putting your name on the wait list. Any scout who does get selected though, and put on from that wait list, that will add a cost to their registration. And scouts will be notified in June.
Couple clarifying questions for ATV and some of the other similar programs, John. Is it a wait list? Is it a lottery? Is it something else? Or
Great question. So the wait list puts everybody all on the same list, and then if needed, if there are more participants on that wait list, then we have slots. We will use a lottery system to pull the scouts from that wait list and input them into the program. Otherwise, if it's less scouts, we will just open it up and allow the scouts to be all within the program.
and where can the ATV lottery and I guess the others too be found?
Good question. So that's going to be through the individual Black Pug link. We're kind of going to get some specifics on that a little bit. Actually, since it makes sense, answer the question. So within a registration, so the registration contact is that main person who has that for the troop. It's got a bunch of information, as I kind of showed a little bit earlier, on all of those troop required forms, on the YPT report, the unit behavior plan. If you've got any sibling pairs, expected camperships, you'll see your check-in time, picture time, all of this. That's all the troop stuff. When you enter specific names of scouts, they will auto-populate and put in here and be alphabetical. So right now, I have not filled out this roster entirely, which is okay, but I've added in 2 scouts here. And you can see that Johnny Scout here is a tenderfoot. In his information, he has all of these options, an email address, and then there's a class schedule down here. So here's where you would select the classes. You'll be able to search and kind of add in from there. So ATV, you'll be able to see here, classes full. You can kind of select there. So I'm definitely going to go back in and look to make sure that the wait list is correct on all of those, and if not, add it to the wait list. But you'd be able to select here and add to the wait list.
So kind of in addition to that, while you have Black Pug open, can scouts register for those merit badges, ATV, ice skating, horsemanship, if they haven't registered or paid for camp yet?
If they did it today, I don't think so. If they are watching this recording and it is not, if it is after the 13th of April, I am pretty sure you should be able to do that. There's an automatic fee schedule shift that we're going to do. So if you didn't pay the hat incentive deposit over the past 2-ish months, that will not trigger anymore. It's just going to ask for final payments those 30 days in advance. And I believe I will have activated everything for everyone to just sign up for classes, even if they haven't paid anything at that time.
So someone asked, is this all open right now?
Yes.
Thank you. And then I think you'll touch on merit badges a little later, but kind of in the similar vein while you have registration open. Is camp still open program?
Yes. And I think that's really important to talk about specifically. So I don't think I have a slide that says that on how it works, but open program and open enrollment program for our merit badges is really important. So we want a scout to be able to choose whichever merit badge they want to choose when attending summer camp. That does result in some large classes sometimes. This year, us getting the registrations ahead of time allows us to know that the class size is going to be large, which in turn allows us to prepare and hopefully have multiple instructors, 2, 3, 4 instructors able to facilitate the class, whether it be breaking it up into smaller groups or having multiple instructors around to help engage the scouts in conversation, in small activities, but provide a better program because of that. So this will help with that. Did that answer the full question? Open enrollment.
Yes. Are you going to touch on merit badges later, or can I give you a couple questions now? Or
Give me a couple questions now. I may touch on it, but
sure. So are scouts now registering for merit badges before they arrive?
yes. So it is not changing the overall process. We're just asking to know what they're choosing ahead of time. It's not going to lock them out unless it's ATV, horsemanship, or ice skating on May 20th. That lottery system, waitlist system will close. But yes, we are asking that get input ahead of time. We will no longer be accepting blue cards. So blue cards are not needed for summer camp anymore. Black Pug will actually provide a report and the blue card specifically as a printout option. So if you get a partial and you complete all but one requirement, it's going to list on that blue card printout all but one of those requirements that you get. And if you complete it all, it'll list it as a pass blue card for you. We'll provide an advancement report previously on that merit badge collection process, and in turn giving them to the scoutmasters. We would provide the physical blue cards, and trying to gather them from all over reservation might have involved some headaches and incorrect administration of that process. This should really be able to clean that up, especially with merit badge classes being done on the Thursday, allowing for that Friday morning for any corrections to really be made, and that advancement report to be provided to at the Friday lunch. So if there's any problems or anything that a scout isn't sure that they've completed anything, you'll know on that Friday lunch.
Where, two kind of location questions. Where is the registration being done, and where can the merit badge schedule be found?
Great question. So, merit badge schedule. We've done everything through the Black Pug system for the first time, but we wanted to make sure all of our normal resources are still available. If you haven't been familiar with the system, not gotten access, want to still things do our normal way, it's still available on the website underneath programs 2024 merit badge schedule. In here, we actually list out prerequisites here, as well as homework. Homework is work that is done outside of the classroom. It's expected to be done in your free time or can be done ahead of your stay at camp. It's some extra requirements in there that we don't think scouts really need to be doing in their free time anymore. Just come ahead of time, not necessarily a prerequisite where you have to get it done, but one of those nice things where if you got it done, you could probably go swimming a little bit. So the merit badge schedule is available here. And then within the event, there's an option to view all the classes there. And that'll provide that entire class list in the times.
So a couple questions related to registering for merit badge. Is there a cutoff date, and can scouts change merit badges during the week still?
Great questions. Yes, they absolutely can still change classes through the week. A scout will change their mind probably 4 or 5 times on what merit badges they're going to take, what they want to take, and then during the week they will change it again. So when they do that during the middle of the week, they probably haven't registered ahead of time. So they need to tell the instructor to get put on that paper roster they'll print out, and get their name, campsite, and camp. So that way we can identify where to link that troop to in the registration. If they spell the name wrong, not a big deal, but we at least need that campsite camp, because you can understand that the person's name is spelled wrong and be able to identify that, but we at least want to make sure that we put it in the right spot, because if we put it in the wrong campsite, it's not going to link to your direct registration.
Relating to the blue cards for a second, was that just applicable to in-council units, or is that universal?
This is going to be universal. So all troops attending Yawgoog for the 2024 season, our 109th season, will not need to provide blue cards to their scouts ahead of time. They just need to get them registered in the Black Bug portal for their merit badges ahead of time. That can be done up until we will print them out over the Saturday, Sunday prior to your arrival. So any changes can be made on that. If they are made prior to that, will be done. So probably by that Friday, you can still make changes up until your arrival, but we will print them out prior to that. So just do it by the Friday prior to your arrival. And then there's no time rush and unless it is one of those ice skating, horsemanship, or ATV classes that have the waitlist option.
So who, in the case of a troop, who would be registering for the merit badge? Is that a unit leader responsibility or kind of the scout's responsibility?
Great question. So we want to empower the scouts to be able to do that themselves, to be able to pick and do that. So there's something in here called the parent portal. The parent portal is a great optional feature, and I know I have a slide on this later, but you're able to use the parent portal here. And it provides credentials, an Excel sheet, lots of instructional information on how to, and you want to click what you want specifically, whether it's for them to make payments and prevent them from doing that, or if you want to allow parent portal class selection. So if you check that, they will be able to edit their classes and do that through the parent. So you don't have to as a troop. But if you don't click that, then you as a troop need to fill that.
Then one last question, because I think you'll cover a bunch of these later. But what is the connectivity like, or feed between Black Pug and Scout Book?
There's reports in here. There we go. Okay. So there's a Scoutbook export for Chrome users, Firefox users, and then there's a Troop Master export. So there is some connectivity in the form of an export. But lots of awesome things in here. If you didn't catch this while I was scrolling, there's blue cards, there's unit advancement reports, there's Scoutmaster QR codes, there's lots of other scheduling and other useful buddy tags and stuff. Lots of great resources. That it for now?
For now, yes.
All right. New Frontier. So our first year camper program is called the New Frontier program. It works a little differently in the sense that we don't require scouts to attend just the New Frontier program. We want them to attend as they need to for what requirements they need to throughout the week. So we teach the requirements twice at least through the week at different times. So Knots and Lashings is offered on Monday at 9 to 10:30, but also on Wednesday at 10:30 to 12. So scouts that wanted to take nature merit badge during that 9 to 10:30 slot, but also needed knots and lashings, would be able to take it in the second slot. And if there's ever a session that they needed to do something else, that 7 to 8 time where we offer totemship and firemanship is a great opportunity to go and get extra requirements done, or make up requirements there for New Frontier. And just talking with the director there, and figuring out a time. There are definitely other times throughout the week to schedule those resources. But this fits in really nicely with the merit badges on the schedule of leatherwork, basketry, and wood carving, because those are listed as needed merit badges. So it doesn't mean you need to be there for the whole time slot. It just means you need to show up at when you want, so you can kind of fit it around your schedule. If you want to take knots and lashings, then go to leatherwork, then go back for cooking and menu planning. Skip flag and scout sayings because you want to go to basketry. You can do that. It's the flexibility of the program, and then to complete those merit badges at some point throughout the rest of the week, whenever it is that you want. Some you might even be able to do in your site and bring the materials with you. In the leader's guide, there are correlations of what knots and lashes teaches to the specific requirements. It's towards the end, I want to say about page 50 or so in the leader's guide, but each requirement listed for what that session does. Those advancement reports will also be captured in Blackbook. So those sessions will be there in the advancement reports.
Two quick New Frontier questions, John.
Yeah.
Where does the New Frontier program take place, and is it at the same location all week?
Great question. It is held and hosted at the Campcraft Center, which is right on the way to the Sandy Beach waterfront / Adventure Island, the inflatables. A good kind of iconic location of the Sandy Beach field, and then down towards the water there.
And is there registration for New Frontier similar to merit badges or anything like that?
Good question. I believe it is in there now. I'm going to definitely do some clarifying with the merit badges now that we're pushing it out. We're seeing some people be able to sign up for stuff to make sure it works, but that will be able to be signed up for just like a merit badge. However, it is probably going to list it as required for the whole week, but it is just needed to show up for that one kind of thing. So if they just wanted to show up for that Monday 9 to 10:30, they don't need to attend Tuesday through Friday at that 9 to 10:30 if they don't meet those requirements. They want those requirements, fine, but they also can use that flexibly.
Thank you.
Okay. Provisional opportunities. So Fun Friends Adventure is an amazing program that we've got. It allows scouts to participate in a second week or more. Or if they're not attending as a scout from their troop, or with a troop, they're able to attend this program, and we provide the staff and coverage in the campsite for that week. This year, we're adding just to the Fun Friends Adventure program, rolling it out this year, a drone program. This is going to be 12 scouts per merit badge session. It's got 4 drones. The Boy Scouts of America is an FAA approved test administrator of the trust. So they will get a certificate saying that they've gotten this test administered. And there's some cool curriculum, some cool challenges that we're able to do with this program. Who wouldn't want to fly a drone around 2,000 acres? I know Pat has definitely taken his drone and flown it around quite a bit. So quite a cool experience. Able to get some cool pictures and sights out there. But that is only available for Fun Friends Adventure. There is a great opportunity to get the half off discount. So a scout attending this program, it is half off for a second week. Really great discount there. All right, I'm going to kick it over to Matt to talk a little bit more about some of our other provision programs.
Yeah, so some of the other ones that we have are the Yawgoog Leadership Experience, otherwise known as YLE. This is a really great opportunity for scouts who are looking to improve their leadership skills and team building skills, as well as any scouts that um, are maybe interested in joining staff as well. It's a really great opportunity. And that's available for scouts ages 14 years or older. And the way that this program is set out is it's divided into two stages. So that is the leadership week, where they come and we do leadership and team building activities with them, kind of hone in their skills. And then there's also some other fun stuff that we have planned throughout the week. And then the stage after that is called the experience week, where they get to use these skills and kind of apply them into the field with in any of our program centers. So really great opportunity there. And they're also able to do as many experience weeks as they like. So awesome opportunity for scouts 14 years or older. And then we also have our Weeblo's Outdoor Adventure, which this year, with the new Cub Scout requirements being overhauled, the program has been kind of redesigned to help meet those new changes. And then with the new program, we also have a new director, Adam. He's really great, and I think he's going to do a really awesome job. And in addition to that, it's a 1 week program, and then if they want to come for other weeks, the second week is also half off for the Weeblos program.
Awesome. And Adam was previously program commissioner in Medicine Bow and a crafts center director. Is that right?
Yeah, so he's PC and a craft center director, and he also started at Weeblos.
Awesome. So
Yeah,
making it full circle there. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. So someone threw a question in there as to where do I find the Troop Weekly theme. So in a little bit, once I ask somebody else to talk, probably I'm going to upload those so you're able to view them on the Troop section where it says the 2024 every. But there was another question on IOLS information, and how does the timing work? That is a great question. So we do offer IOLS from Tuesday to Wednesday, and there's a section on the website for that. Pull up and get that too. So the Yawgoog website, we have the troop section and then more resources. All the way at the very bottom, it says Scoutmaster Training. So we offer IOLS from Tuesday 7 p.m. until Wednesday at 5 p.m. Awesome opportunity for unit leaders that aren't attending the full week but want to get that training for the rest of the year. They can come just that time. If you're in council, out of council, not attending that week, you can sign up the week that is convenient to you. Your unit doesn't have to be attending in order to go to this program. We've talked with a few other councils, like part of New England, Mayflower, Spirit of Adventure, like that are requiring some more substantial training requirements. So this is a great opportunity to take it at your convenience over the summer in a different setting, in a setting that are administered for this type of program. There are signups through that link, so just make sure you do that. It's a $50 fee. I think I covered probably, hopefully, most of that question.
Yeah, the other was is it just a 1 night training, kind of a 1 day training, John, or what's the timeline?
Yep. So Tuesday, that's 7 p.m. until Wednesday at 5 p.m. So right around a day, you'll be able to get that knocked out.
And do you have to be an in-camp troop to do it that week, or?
Nope. So you can have nobody else staying at camp that week because of vacations planned or anything like that. Choose the week that's most convenient for you to attend. If you are attending that's outside of your week, we would require that you have your health form on file, of course, and YPT training registered, of course. But if you're not registered, you wouldn't be wanting this extra training anyway. But we would want that all on file anyway. I'm gonna answer it since it popped up and I saw the question. How do sibling discounts kind of get entered and where do we do that? Great question. So I have Johnny Scout and Bobby Scout here. Do, 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 do. And there's nothing specifically within the profile to identify that as it, but within the registration contact, we do offer the ability to list the sibling pairs. So please enter those siblings. So Johnny Scout and Bobby Scout would be on that first line. And then whoever that next pair would be. Camper ships would be the same way. Expected camper ships in there. On the adult profiles, however, anyone that's splitting a week, so there's the opportunity to do that. You would just list the other adult leader's name. So we'll see the 2 adults in there, know that those 2 adults are splitting a week, and be able to match up and apply that discount.
Well, you've got Black Pug open, John. Question about the high adventure discount. How and where is that applied?
Yeah. So high adventure discount, you're able to upload the receipt, whether it be a roster or an actual receipt of that high adventure. It is for National High Adventure. So that's Sea-Based, Philmont, Northern Tier, or Summit. And that would be $100 off per scout. But verified through there. So you'd see the scout's name listed in the registration somewhere and see that receipt matched up in the registration contact.
And how is the parent portal shared out to parents while you have it open?
There are 2 ways to kind of activate that. So once you can use the following reports there to distribute it. So whether it's it's taking a sec to load. So you could give those out, cut them up, provide the QRs to each individual. And it would have their name, as you can see, Johnny Scout there. Or the Excel credentials. So if you wanted to create a mail merge, email it. And you can provide the link. Well, it provides the link there. That. So very easy to kind of get that out.
And the sibling discount is applicable to siblings in different troops, and if so, is it applied the same way?
Yeah, great question. So we would be able to apply a sibling discount to anyone within a Yawgoog program. Fun Friends Adventure, Weeblo's Outdoor Adventure, Yawgoog Leadership Experience, if wouldn't get the discount applied, but the other person, FFA, Weeblo's, or attending with the troop would. So if they're attending in a Yawgoog program, they will be able to get that discount. Just list, if they're not in that troop, just list the program for us to kind of search that person.
In our one question on camper ships and how they're applied, are they applied to a scout's individual account, and would they see them come through there, or?
Yeah, so we will start applying camper ships, and I think I have a slide on this later on. But to the next one. It's not the next one, but we will apply camper ships and specific discounts starting on May 1st that we have record of. So like all camper ships, we'll get a spreadsheet and input those based on the name. So we're relying on you guys as the troop point of contact, the registration contact, to upload those rosters. Then we'll be able to find the names of those camper ships and get them updated. If you have any questions, there is that spot within the Black Bug portal to just say, hey, I think Johnny has $50 campership or however it is. So if we didn't verify it, we need to go verify again. If it's in there, we can do. I will talk Order of the Arrow for a little bit, unless you want to, Pat.
I can chat briefly, but
Okay, I will throw on the things then.
great. So while John's uploading the program highlight sheets, which I know you're all excited about, I'll chat about the OA. So John mentioned kind of one of the major changes for the Order of the Arrow here at Yawgoog this summer. And that is that the ice cream social is now on Monday nights. So you get to start the week with some ice cream and OA members, which is a great way to get things rolling. But some other things applicable here at Camp Yawgoog is if you're a member of the Narragansett Council and a member of the Order of the Arrow, you can do your brotherhood conversion right here at camp. So if you've been an ordeal member for 6 months, you can head to the Medicine Dining Hall on Thursday evenings to complete your brotherhood conversion. It's the third bullet point down there on the screens. Again, that's Thursday evenings at the Medicine Dining Hall. And then the tap out ceremony has always gone on at the Saturday night shows. We're doing the exact same thing, recognizing scouts and leaders for being elected into the Order of the Arrow now at the Friday night show. So at the end of the week, your program commissioners or in some way will collect names of scouts and adults who've been elected to the OA, and they'll have the unique opportunity to go up on stage in front of hundreds and hundreds of scouts to get recognized. It's a really cool time. And then applicable to Narragansett Council units as well. But if you'd like to have your unit election done while you're here at camp, that can be arranged. I believe it's tolpaylodge.org/unit elections. And depending on where you're from, you can conduct your own unit election here with your troop and just report it back to your home lodge or your home council as well. The other thing on here applicable to local units as well is our ordeal happens here May 17th through 19th. So if you've been elected to the OA and you'd like to complete your ordeal, you can do it down here at Camp Yawgoog on the 17th next month. And then last but not least, at the end of the summer, whether you have an OA member that wants to return for another week or come for their or come spend some time here putting in some service with our Rangers, we have Aero Corps. So Aero Corps takes place week 7, staying in campsite Donald Cady over in Sandy Beach. They spend the mornings working alongside our Rangers, doing everything from putting in boardwalks, benches and amphitheaters, building fences, some really cool projects that stick around for years and they can show off to their friends. And then in the afternoon, it's just a normal week of Yawgoog. They can complete merit badges, they can go shooting, they can just hang out. Camp Yawgoog is their oyster at that point. They really can just enjoy it. So in the morning, some fun service with friends, and then in the afternoon it's Yawgoog is Yawgoog in the afternoon, I suppose. But for $150 for an OA member, it's a great time and it's a great experience, and that's week 7. But that's what I got on the OA for now. But yeah, thanks, John.
That's good. That's awesome. So excitingly enough, I did get that updated onto the website. Also, in doing so, I removed the menu. So I was trying to fumble around just over the last half a second. Okay, so now when we go there, should all up to date. So to answer the question of the program highlight sheet, so in the troop section, those are all listed right here with the appropriate links for your respective camp, listing all of the weekly themes, fun activities that we're not talking about, like bake-off, costume contest, campsite decoration, snacks with the staff, and a couple other things that I'm not mentioning. So definitely go check that out after this meeting. Also listed here is the 2024 menu, because I did find it again, and the 2024 vegetarian menu, if you're looking for gluten-free or the special dietary requests, those will get updated over the course of the next week. Pre-camp instructions, if you're looking for payment instructions and you attended the Massachusetts meeting last night and you're surprisingly on this meeting, those payment instructions were the pink paper that was not included in the packets given out yesterday. And it's now highlighted here for your convenience. But if you have questions on what we're asking through the Black Bug portal, we list out some pretty awesome instructions for how to do that stuff specifically. So if you've never seen that youth protection verification, and how to fill out that process, we show a step-by-step process. Great. NYLT. So Matt had talked about the YLE, our Yawgoog Leadership Experience. Another leadership training program is NYLT, and this is offered week 8. So any scouts that want to come back for this, it is a $450 value, so a little bit less than coming to camp for a week. It is a 6-day course, so coming in at a little bit different schedule, but an awesome opportunity. So yawgoog.org/NYLT for some experience of learning leadership skills outside of summer camp and more in a true applicable setting. And I know I talked a little bit specifically on that swim classification record, where to find it. I will do that again here. So just in case you need to clip that footage and use it specifically, it will be there. So within the registration contact, we've got the swim classification record box, an upload file there. And listing out the several types of different lifeguards, the aquatics instructor, all appropriate parties that can administer that test, and the training and certification listed. But this is the first year that we're doing that. It's an awesome opportunity. You don't want to have to do swim qualifications here. Just do that properly. We will accept dates of January 1st, 2024 or later. So just have to be done within this.
John, can you clarify that for that they only need to upload the roster? They do not need physical tags, correct?
Correct. So that roster with the signed statement is the affirmation of that test being administered, equivalent of providing the tags. All right. So final payments. It outlines just that final payments are due 30 days in advance. Late forms are things that are missing at that point in time. Would be a $25 fee for the form. That'll get automatically accounted. So if something's not turned in at that point in time, that's listed as a required form, it would be marked with the late fee. We've gone over that parent portal option, how to activate it, how to empower users. We'll show that one more time here, as that is very important. But within the registration contact profile, there are those additional actions that activate parent portal. Just click on that, and you'll be able to use it. If you want to make parents, prevent parents from making payments, you can click that or unclick that. If you want to empower the parents or scouts to choose their own merit badges, you can click there. Credentials are also listed within right here. Final payments specific on discounts. So sibling discount, we sort of covered with listing the sibling pairs in the registration contact. National High Adventure, uploading the receipt or proof of roster within that registration contact as well. Additional week costs. So if you're registering for a second week and you're currently in there as a troop member, it might not recognize that second week discount just yet, because a unit leader hasn't included that scout in their roster, or so the parent could have signed up the scout for FFA already, and it just wouldn't have done the discount. Reach out to us, let us know that the discount didn't apply. We can apply it on the back end. Just encourage them when they're signing up for Fun Friends Adventure, just pay the minimum deposit, because they can pay the rest even at the window as they're checking if really needed. So that way we can make sure that the discount is applied correctly. Adventure card discount. So if you are a Spirit of Adventure troop attending this, there's a code that we will enter on our end that activates that adventure card discount of $20 per scout, and it will apply to all of your scouts in there. The new scout discount, $99. I want to take just a minute to talk about this. I know we're kind of going with a lot of information at you, but the new scout discount of $99 is an awesome opportunity for recruitment. If you're in the Narragansett, Mayflower, or Spirit of Adventure councils, if it is a first year scout, so they joined scouting for the first time, not crossing over as a Weeblo or Arrow Light into scouts, but joining September 1st, 2023 or later up through this camping season, they can attend Camp Yawgoog for the value of $99, which is an incredible price. So use this for straight recruitment. The question was asked last night if this can be a way to get people back in the program if they were in Wolves or Bears and then weren't in Weeblos. Yes, absolutely. Get them back in the program. Get them to try summer camp out and attend. We ran the numbers on the statistics and why are we offering a discount like this? 80% of scouts who don't attend summer camp don't stay in the program. 80% of scouts who don't attend summer camp don't stay in the program. So it's really important for us to get as many scouts to attend summer camp so that they stay in the program, so that they're engaged and interested in having a great program there. So starting May 1st, we're going to enter all of those discounts, those new scouts. We get the verified list so we can enter that on the applicable parties. Just the whole responsibility is on you guys to make sure your roster is uploaded in there so we can search the name and apply that discount. But that will be all started on May 1st. So up through that 30-day period, I'll be working on reviewing your forms and making sure everything is in tip-top shape, ready to go. So once that's all set and paid in 30 days in advance, all that paperwork should be set, and we'll be ready for that Sunday check-in. What do we got for questions?
All right. So can you confirm it is the $99 discount is only for those 3 councils, correct?
Correct.
Does the new scout discount apply for recent crossovers from Cub Scouts?
It does not apply for recent crossovers from scouts.
Where can the Mass Jam discount be applied?
Great question. So we have the list of the 8 troops that got the Mass Jam discount. We will enter that. That is included in this red box, even though it doesn't say it. It's going to be included in the list of things that we start on May 1st to enter in for those units.
If units are having parents pay for scouts on their own opposed to collecting checks, can units see who has and has not paid and if they have remaining balance?
Absolutely. So I don't think I have any payments applied in this year, but if you look at the individual registration, there's a way to like see the balance due. So anybody that had a payment applied, so if they did the hat incentive deposit, it would say 535 as the balance due. And as you're applying a payment, you can apply that payment specifically to a person if you're just doing that on your end, or if they go in, it'll just be applied to their account. It'll affect your overall balance, but just that individual has the payment applied to them.
How long would an individual have to have been out of scouting to apply for the $99 discount to be applicable?
So they couldn't have been a crossover. So if they left before they crossed over and weren't actually registered, then they could get registered again. That registration is good for 12 months. So like basically before Weeblos, what would have been the Weeblos 1 prior, anything before that, they would have had to. If you need to reach out to me and clarify some dates or a specific circumstance, I'm happy to see that. And if we're able to work that for you, I'm happy to make that happen.
And which 3 councils are the new scout discount applicable to?
Yeah, so that's only applicable to Narragansett Council, Mayflower and Spirit of Adventure councils.
Great. And the $99 discount is just applicable to units or also to the Weeblos program?
Also applicable to the Weeblos program, also applicable to day camp. But day camp has a different one, which is a $49 discount, as day camp is a different value. But yes, if a great way to get the Weeblos into camp for the first time at that $99 value.
I think that's all the on-topic questions for now before we get to kind of the open group of them.
Okay. Pre-check-in information. I know I have mentioned this as the schedule, but payments, health forms, unit behavior plans, all forms to complete. That's what's due. It's in the Black Book profile. It'll be marked as a required form. And we've kind of listed that a bunch. I don't want to go too much more in detail. But Camp Doc, how is that going to work? We haven't talked about it at all, and that's all we talked about last year. So the connectivity between Camp Doc and Black Bug, I am so excited to say, data is retained. The profiles are there from last year, and we are working on the upload process and what that will look like. We have a meeting scheduled with our team tomorrow to dive into that in the afternoon to get that process started. So hopefully starting Monday, Tuesday, we'll start the upload process and get people access to their profiles. If you've logged on to an existing troop profile from last year, you've probably seen that it still says 2023 because that process starts tomorrow for us. So what do you have to do to get your scouts medical forms? You need to get your roster uploaded in Black Bug. All you'll need to do. You get the required information in there. If they're a returning scout, it will match their profile with them. If it doesn't, for some reason, there's a way to request a merge profile that shows those two profiles. But we're looking at this with a really fine-tooth comb, and I don't believe there will be any need to merge profiles going forward this year. But if something pops up, always feel free to reach out and ask us a question. But if you get your scouts uploaded to Black Bug, we will get them uploaded to Camp Doc in turn, because we are working with them to do that upload process on a daily basis. So if you do something Monday afternoon, Monday night, we're probably going to get something done Tuesday morning-ish. So you should see that turn around on a daily basis within about 24 hours. Over the weekend, it will not be that quick. So if you do something Friday, Saturday, Sunday, expect something to be done Monday about that. But it should not be nearly as a labor-intensive process as last year. Not as labor-intensive as a process, but if you need help uploading a roster and how to do that specifically in Black Bug, if you're on this page, there's always that support bar in the bottom right. You can ask a question. You can search all videos. If you type the word roster, the second video that says My Account Part 2, importing, managing, and using a personal roster, I will walk you through how to upload a roster that you can connect. So if you're trying to get your scouts input into Black Bug, there's a 3.5-minute video on how to do that. So that should help with that process this year.
So for Camp Doc, John, if a scout and parent had a login last year, would it still remain the same account for this summer?
Yes, as long as the email that is uploaded into Black Bug is the same email that their Camp Doc was last year. So if they're using the same email throughout, that'll be the same profile connected.
And is there any roster upload to Camp Doc, or is it just Black Bug now?
It is just Black Bug because they provide a little more support and interface and accessibility with that onboarding process. So everything, we get your people into Black Bug and update those records, and we'll take care of the rest.
So if they have scouts registered in Black Bug, they will eventually pre-fill over to Camp Doc?
Yes.
Thank you. Any specific medical forms needed if a scout has an EpiPen with them, or is all of that information going to Camp Doc?
all of that information would go into Camp Doc, and it just lists what medications are being brought on hand. So you would list it in there as something that's being brought on hand. If you need, not for EpiPens, but if you're bringing insulin and need that refrigerated, that is an option available at the Health Lodge. Just please let us know that you need that, but we're happy to provide whatever accommodations are needed.
That's most of the Camp Doc questions right now.
Okay. All right, so that slide is talking about health forms. So while health forms are going in Camp Doc, it still does require the Part C to be signed by a physician. So yawgoog.org/health-forms has specific weeks listed out, and then the dates that Part C must be signed for. So if you've got questions and aren't sure about dates, this is a great resource for what dates would be acceptable and what would be not accepted for Part C.
So as you change screens there, John, some more health form related questions came in. So do adults need health forms?
Yes, absolutely. Anyone staying at Camp Yawgoog overnight over the course of 24 hours needs to have a Part ABC health form through their Camp Doc profile, not a paper health form, but a Camp Doc profile that has all of that information in there.
A whole bunch of questions related to medication. Who holds on to meds? Are they handled by the Health Lodge or are they handled by the troop?
Yeah. So there's a couple different things, and I'll explain the first one, which pertains to troops. So troops go on campouts all the time throughout the year. They have a medication system in place for all of those campouts and know their scouts really well, hopefully, and are more familiar with those medications and needs of those scouts than we are as camp staff, just knowing them for the week. So if a troop has a medication policy in place, that is okay to have that in place and use that for the summer camp, the week of summer camp. However, if it is a narcotic, I believe it's a class 3 specifically, or something that just shouldn't be out and about there, that should be kept at the Health Lodge. If it's something that should be kept locked up, that's a lower level narcotic, like I try to think like Adderall or a specific prescription that needs to be locked up. We can provide lock boxes, or you should have a lockbox that those medications are kept so that they couldn't be accessed by somebody else. But that's for troops with that. So we also have Fun Friends Adventure, Yawgoog Leadership Experience, or WeBLOWS program. So for those programs, that is administered by the EMTs at the Health Lodge. At all points in time, we have EMTs on call, available on site, and at other various points in time, not always, we do have higher level people there, ranging from nurses, nurse practitioners to doctors. But those are here and there at unscheduled specific times because it helps with the overall process, but not because they're available 24/7. So if you need medication administration at a level that's higher than an EMT, we ask you to help us provide that support in the summer camp setting, so that we can provide a great experience, but we'll always have the level of EMT at all times. Good.
Great. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So over the past couple of years, we've dealt with a variety of sicknesses, from COVID to norovirus to the flu to whatever it is that happens at summer camp. And we've learned that it's really important to develop a relationship with our staff, our scouts, our adult leaders to say, hey, how are you feeling today? And that's really important to develop that relationship and just have common hygiene practice and all of that. So we ask that prior to arrival, you're asking those scouts how they're feeling. If they have symptoms that are any of those kinds of sicknesses, symptoms, fever, the ones that mean you probably shouldn't be going to summer camp at this point in time. Have them stay home and come a day later, come 2 days later. That's much better than getting everybody else sick. But we want to practice proper hygiene as well. Wash your hands, hydrate, check for ticks, all of that good stuff. Employment opportunities. So we are still hiring. We got some awesome hires this week from some career fairs that we've been doing recently. I am really excited with that. Steven's been on a roll, Matt's been on a roll, Pat's been on a roll. I made a hire today. I'm excited about it. We're still going. We're still looking for staff for some unique positions, for some specific positions, or if you're looking for part-time work, if you're looking to be a commissioner, if you just want to help out and do the bake shop and taste test cookies, but also make cakes and do that kind of stuff. We're looking for people for anything and everything. Happy to help out. So feel free to apply. I encourage your scouts to apply. We're 15 years or older. The starting salary has increased each year for the past 4 years. That's kind of really exciting. We want to keep continuing with that trend, and we want to keep offering scholarship opportunities for people who want to advance their education. It's a nice added bonus to be able to provide those opportunities to further their education, and it helps retain quality staff as well. So if you know your scout could use a little bit of a scholarship boost, working on staff is a way to get that as well. Visitors. So just to clarify one thing that sometimes comes up, we do discourage family nights. There's less homesickness with no family nights. For some reason, having everybody all in there at nighttime, then the parents leaving, just does promote homesickness. So we ask that any visitors who should check in through the week be prepared for us to ask you how you're feeling, making sure that there are no symptoms, and just checking at the Buckland to get that wristband. So the next time for us to possibly see each other in person is a Tuesday barbecue, and that's for SBLs and Scoutmasters. It's a phenomenal opportunity and the next opportunity to, one, see each other, but to finalize any details for payments, registration, merit badge signups, program requests, talk to your program commissioner about what opportunities exist, any of that stuff. So on the website, there is a Tuesday barbecue section. So you can sign up for that as an individual. It's a great value. The only place you can probably get a $15 state of Rhode Island, or the Northeast probably, courtesy of the Wonderful Factors Club. But please make sure you sign up in advance so we have a proper count for food. If you can't make it the week prior, but you can make it 2 weeks prior or 3 weeks prior, choose the one that works for you, please feel free to come and attend and work that into how you attend with your troop. These leaders meetings are for the adult leaders. They go over a lot of logistical specifics and schedule changes, and not the fun program elements of an SPL probably wants to focus on. But these SPL and Scoutmaster barbecues, that's the experience to get your SPL to camp and learn those details. So if you're within Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, feel free to make the trip out. If you're from New York, you're more than welcome to. We can provide housing in Fun Friends Adventure for an overnight. If you'd like to make the trip up, we're happy to do that. But great opportunity there. And signups are in the works. All right. So the last thing I've got on this before we answer the rest of Q&A is blood drive on Friday. So even with the schedule changes, we are still offering a blood drive on Friday. And we're going to be offering online signups for that. You can still sign up in the Buckland, but we'll have a QR, so you could sign up online too. Otherwise, that is all I've got before we answer the other multitude of questions in the Q&A. But I just want to say thank you so much for attending. I know there's a lot of details. We just went over a lot of stuff over the past and 1 hour and 50 minutes, but hopefully it's been useful for you guys. And let's dive into whatever questions are left, Pat.
So related to the topic you just covered, the Tuesday barbecues, are they required, and can an ASPL or an assistant scoutmaster go as well, or instead?
Absolutely. So anyone who wants to come to this can come. It can be a whole gathering for 10, 15 people of the troop that want to do this. Great way to see camp before you come as well. So it doesn't need to be anybody specific.
All right. Are bikes allowed at camp?
Bikes are not allowed, unfortunately.
Can multiple unit leaders be on the back end of Black Pug and do some of the behind work, or is it just the one person?
Good question. I really, really wish that they allowed multiple people specifically in the system as a point of contact. They allow a primary contact and then an additional contact email. So you can get two people's emails in the system. The first one is the only one that's going to get the link. So if I included my email as the second person, this email is going to get the specific registration. This email will get all of the details in the email, but not a link to the registration specifically. In turn, the primary contact can forward that email that they received the registration link and forward it to whoever they want and provide access to the registration that way. But it's not possible to allow multiple people to get that registration link, provide support. But that primary can forward, get access out.
All right. While you have Black Pug open, a handful of questions on how does a troop gain access to Black Pug if they don't already have it?
Good question. So we have sent some emails out, and over the past 2 weeks, it has been 90% me and 10% Ethan, and Ethan's in Texas now. So if you have not filled out a request, or have filled out a request, we still probably owe a bunch of people an answer. But if you don't have access, please fill out this form. And this provides us enough information to connect either you or get your registration contact that link. I will manually go in and send you an email and connect you to that registration. It's going to come in an email from no-reply at 247scouting.com.
In Black Pug, what does it mean if someone has a lightning bolt next to their name?
I believe that's a verified thing. If you hover over it, it may be able to tell you. There are some councils that use Black Bug and update like their rosters on their end, so then it can verify and take it the next step and say that this person's actually a registered adult leader. So we still ask for the YPT report, which verifies that the unit leader has YPT training, but also is registered. So in case the council has not done that Black Bug roster upload, then we can still verify that they're a registered adult. But yes.
If scouts took the swim test at a different camp last year, do they need to retake it? So kind of
Yes.
what's the cutoff date there?
Absolutely. So January 1st, 2024 is going to be the date on that.
Awesome. Thank you. And then
Yeah.
scouts interested in lifeguard BSA, where can they sign up or find information on that?
That should be available to sign up for as a class. I'm going to make a note now to double check classes for New Frontier, waitlist, and BSA lifeguard. New Frontier BSA lifeguard.
Camper ships. Are camper ships open now, and is there a deadline for them?
Great question. Camper ships are open now. On the Yawgoog website, if you hover over parents and click on camper ships, you can get to that application there. We do ask that you do it before arrival. I believe the rough cutoff is June 1st. If they're done later than that, the camper ship application may not be available. You may need to contact me. It is all dependent on how many funds are available at the current point in time. So put that in sooner rather than later, next month or so, ideally, to get that process. But we've been doing that. If you haven't heard back specifically, feel free to reach out, pass that along to either myself, Nicole, and a couple others at the Narragansett County support staff can get you the answers on scouts that have been approved.
Can you provide more information on the dress parade, John?
Yes. The dress parade is going to be at 10:15. This is an awesome opportunity to recognize scouts and scouters and their accomplishments for the week. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour, closer to 45 minutes. And it is everyone on the field all at once, the Tim O'Neill field. The three camps assemble onto the field. The parents are all in the shade and behind the chaplains and the spectacle procession at the front with the podium. There's colors. There's the national anthem. It is an awesome time to be there to witness this event. And then we call up and recognize scouts and scouters for various things throughout the week. Troops that earned awards, won swim carnivals, troop of the week, scouts that did so much service. A lot of different awards are given out at that, but it's an awesome opportunity. Other camps may have closing ceremonies and everything, but there's a lot of tradition in this, and a lot of tradition in this, and it's quite the spectacle.
Awesome. Are there certain certifications needed or verification for adults who are overseeing the swim classification test?
There are specific requirements and classifications. So in the swim classification document, it actually lists it right under the 15 slots there, as far as what people and what instructions would count. If you then in turn aren't sure if that classification works, or they are not a lifeguard or BSA lifeguard or any of those appropriate classifications, click on this guide to get more information as to what to do. If that all still doesn't make sense, please send me an email and ask me if this person that's going to do the test would count, because I would rather you ask me ahead of time and I say no, then you know at least, and then 2 months later you try and submit it, I have to say no because it was incorrect.
Thank you. And can adult leaders share a week?
Absolutely. So we charge based on the maximum number of adult leaders attending for the week. So if two adults are splitting off on Wednesday, one's coming in, one's leaving, that still evens out. So that you would just list in your camp doc profile for your adults, there's a section that says splitting the week, and you would just type in the other adult's name there. So that way we can match and apply the discount.
Awesome. So we've had some kind of trading post related questions. Is there new merchandise? Will it be available, and where can bug nets be ordered?
Yes, there is going to be a lot of new merch. So Ethan, who is in Texas right now, he attended the ACA conference with us. And we got some cool products from there. I believe some Squishmallows were on the list. But lots of cool new stuff coming. We are celebrating 100 years of the Camp Yawgoog Fire Department this year. So there's some merch specifically to that, some things some nuances in some of the products that give a nod to that. So yes, stay tuned for some new merch. Where can you buy bug nets? That's going to be on the website, on the Yawgoog website. So in this online order section, if you were to click into here, you'll enter into the store area and kind of get into anything you might want there that's new, different, any of the good stuff, the car hoodie, but don't tempt me too much.
All right, let's see what else we got. Some sites have power, you mentioned earlier, John, but CPAP machines, can you kind of go over that procedure?
Definitely. So some sites we are in the process of getting outlets into all sites specific. If they don't have an outlet, we still will provide an extension cord to the nearest tent. So that way, in case an adult leader does need a CPAP machine, they're able to plug into that. But I'm gonna say probably somewhere in between a third to a half of those sites around reservation will have electricity for this year.
Thank you. Can adult leaders participate in troop program activities, even if they have no scouts interested in attending?
Yes. So an adult is somebody who's over the age of 18. But in the scouting program, we also have crews. So we have participants that are 18 to 21. We have some crews that attend, so they will use that program the program request sheet. So this is for anyone in the troop. If you have a bunch of adults that want to do a stargazer or go on the wild edibles hike or the hat or do Gaga, that's fine. Absolutely. Still fill that out. You guys can participate in that. Same thing with free swim, free shoot, other adult training opportunities. We want adults to enjoy camp too. And the favorite program center, I believe, of the adult leaders is called the Factors Club, which is located in the Donald Dorff Court, and is in the East Building, which has wonderful hot coffee, 5 a.m. in the morning when they're waking up really early to make that, a juice machine, some treats, and the Factors make dinner sometimes. So a nice special dinner, some chili, some homemade bread, some other stuff.
John, the schedule on the website makes it look like Friday morning has merit badge sessions. Is that correct?
If that was like the tentative multi-page white paper one, and wasn't the green one listed in the leader's guide right here, I'll remove that and update this one. But merit badges are operating Monday through Thursday, so we'll try and clean that up. I'll add that to the list for that.
Does Black Pug automatically notify parents or generate them an account when scouts are added in?
Not automatically. You have to activate that parent portal, which we did kind of go through and how to provide access specifically, so that parent portal within the additional actions. And then you would still need to provide them the credentials. So you could then print out and cut up these small pieces of paper with the QR and give them to each individual scout. And you would have to do that once you add in a new scout if you added somebody new. Or you could do the Excel version and get the credentials and just email that to them. But you would manually need to provide them access.
Awesome. All right. And then can you clarify the swim test date one more time? If scouts were swimmers at Yawgoog last year, would that count for 1 year, or does that reset?
No. So in fact, we're not even going to accept 11 months, 10 months, 9 months, 8 months. It has to be January 1st 2024 this year or later, and with the proper qualifications. So even if you did it in September, October, November, we're not willing to accept that this year. We're easing into it, but it has to be January 1st within this year.
John, can you kind of share how tenting works for adult leaders, and are they permitted to bring their own personal tent if they want?
Yeah, if you absolutely want to need to require that extra personal space, that's okay. We will provide every adult leader a cot, a mattress, and you're housed in the same style tents, a 10 by 12 or 12 by 16. Each of those housing either 2 liters or 3 liters in a tent. And then, of course, male and female adult leaders have separate accommodations. So if there's 1 female leader in the troop and 2 male leaders in the troop, it's likely that the 2 male leaders would stay together. And of course, the female leader would stay separate.
And John, do we have Wi-Fi here at camp? And if an adult leader wanted to, a little bit of work remotely while they're here, do we have the facilities for that?
Absolutely. So all 3 dining halls have Wi-Fi. The Buckland Memorial Building, the Factors Club, the Donald North Court overall, the 407, all have Wi-Fi access. So in many areas, you could be able to work, but also why would you want to? But if you have to, I completely get it. And we do provide the right accommodations.
And can you revisit Sunday dinner just real quick? Is that provided, or how does that process work generally?
Great. I don't know if I actually touched on that in the schedule section now, but Sunday dinner is offered to all troops and is our orientation dinner. It's a great opportunity to get your waiter acclimated to how that process works, but also learn the ins and outs of the dining hall operation, how the one-way system flows, when first are called, how singing doesn't start till after the serving dishes are off, or while they're still not on yet. All of those intricacies at the orientation dinner, and that's at 6 p.m. on Sunday.
So is the pizza for lunchtime or dinner time? And when do they have to place an order?
Yeah, you can place an order, I believe, up until the Thursday prior to your week, because we would need to place an order on that Thursday at the absolute latest. And that's then available 12 to 2 on Sunday, because that orientation dinner on Sunday is pulled pork sandwiches.
Gotcha. So the pizza would be optional lunch.
Correct.
Thank you. And then can you overview the cancellation policy for adult leaders versus scouts, if they're, if they had to back out at the last minute?
Yeah, so if somebody needs to cancel ahead of time, they're not coming to camp, we will refund you that money if you've paid it to us ahead of time. The non-refundable deposits are the ones that have already been paid at this point in time. But if you pay somebody in full and then they don't end up coming, we will refund you that money, or leave it on account if you needed to pay for other things and you're able to internally refund them, give you some of that money, however it kind of needs to work. But we're not trying to steal your money if they're not coming to camp.
And then while we mentioned the adult leader tenting situation, some questions came through about scout tenting situations. If you could just do an overview of that quick. Definitely.
I almost did, but I wasn't sure. So the scout tents are 10 by 12 or 12 by 16. And scout bunks are two scouts high. They are bunk bed style, and it's a cot mesh material. There's no mattress for those, but a sleeping bag that's perfectly. It is still very comfortable. And they sleep in the 10 by 12s. They sleep 4 scouts in a tent, and then 6 scouts in one of the larger tents. And those that are curious about that tenting guideline with YPT and everything, there was a webinar hosted by National. In the tenting guidelines is specific to a 2-person tent, a 2 or 3-person tent. So our attending guidelines are different than that because they're provided accommodations for 4 or 6 people. So they are different guidelines for the youth protection standard, which is really happy that they were able to provide that clarification last year for the webinar.
Awesome, thank you. And then if a couple of adult leaders are trading out throughout the week, only staying 2 nights or so each, do they indicate that in Black Pug, and then do they split the cost individually on their accounts?
Yeah. So the discount will probably apply to one person specifically. Will probably knock off a whole person. So you might need to work something out between the 2 or 3 leaders all splitting a week, where they each chip in some money and then pay it as one rate as the troop for that person. But yes, just right in where the adult leader says splitting the week, you can put Mr. Smith and then Mr. Jones as the 2 splitting the week, or whoever the multiple people are.
And then do we provide separate tenting for adult male versus adult female leaders? And then if you're the only female leader, for example, would you have your own tent then?
Yes, we do provide separate accommodations for linked units for male and female troops. So male and female scouts would not tent together in any circumstance in the same tent. They may tent in the same campsite if it's a linked unit, to come to an agreement ahead of time. And then adult leaders would also never tent in the same tent, male and female. We would provide separate accommodations.
And then one last question in that vein: can married adult leaders share a tent?
I would need to like go into the specific like ruling. Offhand I have no willingness to give an answer. So if you want a specific answer on that, please email me and we can look up the guidelines, and I'm happy to go through that process for you.
Thank you. And then a question off of when you were discussing the youth tenting. Can we clarify youth protection for youth tenting? Since it's 11 to 17-year-olds in scout sharing tents. Yeah.
So tenting guidelines, as outlined by national, tent is intended as a 2 or 3 person on tent. What we are tenting is 4 or 6 people. Does that mean you should be tenting an 11 or a 17-year-old in a tent together? Probably not. We aren't encouraging that. And if the circumstance arises that you need to provide 4 scouts accommodation, and the age range is that diverse, it doesn't seem like there would be a limitation of space in the site, and we would be able to provide enough tents where you could sleep everybody separately. So you want to use your best sound judgment with that when providing tenting accommodations. And if you're ever unsure because you're doing that breakdown, if you have the right amount of space, feel free to ask us. Please absolutely send up your tenting assignment and aren't sure if you're compliant or anything. We're happy to work with you.
And then a couple questions on medication again, John. Just to confirm, who's administering medication, and what medications would be held by the nurse or the health lodge in our instance?
Yeah. So troops can administer meds. They do it all the time on weekend campouts and that. But a troop policy and procedure should be in place for those and can be used in the summer camp setting. We do not need to administer medication for all of the troops on property out of the health lodge. That is just not the most efficient, best use of resources in that kind of a setting. Medications that should be kept at the health lodge are things like insulin, maybe a backup EpiPen. The EpiPen should probably be kept on the individual. And then if it's something that the parents or troop leaders feel that is better administered at the health lodge for certain circumstances, or I believe is a class 3 narcotic, if you're curious on that specific medication, whether it really needs to be administered at the health lodge, please feel free to ask out. More than likely, it is something that can be given out at the troop level, but just would need to be put in a lockbox by the troop, so it's not able to be accessed by anybody else.
All right. So with over 140 questions answered, they're slowing down a bit.
That's good.
Just kind of one more here for you at the moment. How long do the as needed merit badges usually take? I know they kind of vary, but we'll see if you can ballpark it.
Yeah, as much time as needed. I'm gonna say you could probably finish it within 2 to 3 days, depending on how much detail you're trying to do within the project. Basketry takes a little bit longer, but wood carving takes a little bit less. Leatherwork, I feel like, is right in the middle of those.
Awesome. And is there any way to know which merit badges require 4 days to complete, or if any are fewer than 4 days?
So right now, all our merit badges, with the exception of horsemanship on weeks 4 and 6, because those are just Monday through Wednesday, and ice skating, which is just on Friday. Those all are 4-session merit badges. We really tried to standardize that program to be the 4 sessions. So with getting rid of blue cards, we've added 45 minutes to the start of that first class, rather than an instructor trying to say, here's how to fill out a blue card, and then the scout not having a pen, all of the other things that pop up in that situation. We've really added a lot of time. So more beneficial instruction over the course of 4 days, opposed to 5 days, which really administered the same amount of program detail.
So another, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Another merit badge related question. Knowing that some of the limited ones and unique ones are waitlisted, do other merit badges fill up? And kind of what's the sign up window look like?
Great question. So we do have that open enrollment policy with our merit badge registration. So you don't need to worry about other merit badges filling up, like environmental science, nature, forestry, any other of those 45-ish merit badges. You don't have to worry about. If it is like environmental science and 83 kids sign up, we will provide multiple instructors to help facilitate that class.
Awesome. And are we offering adult leader trainings this summer?
Yes, adult leader training. We do IOLS, which is offered Tuesday through Wednesday from 7 p.m. on Tuesday to 5 p.m. on 7 p.m. on Tuesday through 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Scoutmaster training can be found here. And there are a list of some other opportunities: leave no trace, safety afloat, safe swim defense, and then scouting for all abilities. Scouting for all abilities, we're offering camping 101 and camping 102. So anybody that's come over the past 2 years, we're offering both sessions at the same time on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. at the 3-point dining hall. That goes till about 8:30.
Awesome. And can IOLS accommodate leaders who use a CPAP machine?
Yes, you will need to let us know that ahead of time, or just remind us ahead of time to make sure it is. But yes, we definitely can accommodate.
If a troop plans to arrive Saturday, opposed to Sunday, how early can they arrive in the morning, or when should they arrive in the morning?
Let's chat separately off of this. Very specific circumstances. We'll figure out the best details for that.
Awesome. And I think the last question here, probably applicable to a lot of the folks on the Zoom meeting. If they didn't attend an in-person leaders meeting, are we mailing a leader's guide to them?
Yes. So how many packets do you think you stuffed yesterday, Pat?
Too many. A lot.
Too many, yeah. So all of those packets are missing one piece of paper at this point in time. So for the next couple of days, we're gonna get that extra piece of paper printed out, and all of the remaining leaders guides mailed out to those individuals as the registration contact. So if you are a registration contact that doesn't have access or hasn't updated their address, it is going to be very hard for us to mail you something. So please make sure that is updated.
And the last thing on the Q&A, a lot of folks mentioned it, but we'll fix the program highlight sheets. One links to the wrong camp. A lot of you mentioned it, so we'll make sure it's uploaded here in a couple minutes. But that's it for the Q&A though, John.
I tried to do it while I was on. We'll get that fixed. So that's it. All right. Well, thank you to the 56 people that stayed on for the entire thing. I'm impressed. But I hope you guys all got some value out of that. I do appreciate your time. We will get this recording uploaded as a great resource, and then do our best to get Q&A uploaded as well. So thank you for your time and have a wonderful evening. All right. Thank you guys.